This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Deputy Prime Minister sharing plans to promote and revive Grand Bahama's economy during the proceedings in the House of Assembly today. Additionally, he shared the country's current financial status and gave some insight on the way forward. Leading off the budget debate in the House of Assembly Wednesday morning, Deputy Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, the Honourable K. Peter Turnquest, detailed some of the plans the government has for the island of Grand Bahama, among them to secure Grand Bahama as the maritime capital.
We will, in addition to the measures set out in the communication, relocate the Bahamas Maritime Authority to Grand Bahama as a means of establishing it as the maritime capital of the country, and we will leverage the container port and shipyard infrastructure to attract new investment into that sector. We will further develop BTVI and the University of the Bahamas to more effectively support the island's industrial and hospitality requirements.
The government also plans to address Grand Bahama's ailing tourism industry, as well as create avenues to grow the agricultural sector on the island.
Promote Grand Bahama as an ecotourism sanctuary, and East Grand Bahama is a gem that has yet to be discovered. By capitalizing on the airport infrastructure, we will seek to develop the aviation sector, as well as attract overnight courier services. Utilize Crown land in East and West Grand Bahama to create a hydro farm and a mariculture facility to produce crops and seafood for export. And Mr. Prime Minister, this is a particular sensitive issue for Grand Bahamians, residents of East Grand Bahama in particular, because a lot of them have gotten approval for Crown land, but cannot, for whatever reason, get the title deed to that Crown land, and thus they have been hampered in developing their farms and there are other enterprises that can help to sustain and grow the economy in East Grand Bahama.
Now, while the Minister-led government promises fiscal prudence and responsibility, the DPM responded to a question posed by a member opposite as to whether civil servants will be terminated to achieve the government's financial goals.
The government of the Bahamas will not put more on the Bahamian people than the revenue that we generate can bear. Simple. We cannot continue to carry as if there is fat and plenty. So no, we are not terminating any civil servants. That's not the plan. But we are going to insist on efficiency. We are going to insist on redeployment of some resources. But we are not in the business, unlike you all or the side opposite, who, when they came to office, wiped out everybody in urban renewal.
Well, the new members of Parliament for the island already situated in their respective offices and working together to create a better Grand Bahama. While the members are getting acquainted with their various tasks, residents on Grand Bahama say there are a few areas of concern that they wish to see top the agenda. Megan Shepard reports.
They were branded as the Change Team during the campaign trail, and now that all 5 members of the Free National Movement's team have been elected and sworn in as members of Parliament for Grand Bahama, residents say they are ready for some changes.
First of all, I'd like to see something done with the whole Princess and International Reserve property. Even if you start with just opening that road that lead from West Grand Bahama into East Grand Bahama, open that road out, and that's a breath of fresh air. You get that open and we're straight. There's going to be a lot of things happening. We're going to restore confidence in some investors again. We got to do this as a team. As long as the people have patience and just give the government a chance.
Jobs. Just to be honest with you, the economy needs to grow. There needs to be something done between the government and the Port Authority to open up something so investors can come into Grand Bahama.
I want to see this government really operate with transparency, openness, proper use of the funds of our country, the taxes that we collect as a country. I want that. I think the whole country wants that. Secondly, specifically in respect of Freeport, I want to see this government working with the Port Authority, articulate programs, articulate projects that can really expand the economic base for Grand Bahama and bring confidence back to the economy of Grand Bahama.
Residents on Grand Bahama also expressing concern for the development of the youth through sports, social development, and new job opportunities, as thousands are set to graduate in a matter of weeks.
We want more involvement from the sporting body, where we're able to be a part of decision making, as opposed to everything being placed on us. So youth and sports is one of the things, that I'm very passionate about. So those are one of the things that I want us to have more involvement in.
Jobs, opportunities, and because Freeport has been down for a while. And when you look at it, you got young kids coming out of school every year. And for us to have thousands of kids coming out of school, we need investors and we need job opportunities to help the economy rebound.
Certainly, I'd like to see some economic prosperity in Grand Bahama. I'd like to see some social change in Grand Bahama as well. And with those two things, I think those are the paramount and the most important things that we should address in Grand Bahama.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. In other news, we are 1 week into the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season. Heads of the various government departments recently shared their plan of action with the Minister of State for Grand Bahama in the Office of the Prime Minister. Tonight, we hear from 3 key players in the island's hurricane preparedness efforts. Sabrina Brown reports.
The National Hurricane Center is forecasting a slightly above average season this year. A total of 11 to 17 named tropical storms are expected to develop, with 5 to 9 becoming hurricanes with winds greater than 74 miles per hour, and 2 to 4 could become major hurricanes with winds greater than 115 miles per hour. The island of Grand Bahama has weathered many storms, and Minister of State for Grand Bahama Kwesi Thompson recently met with heads of government agencies to get an update on their preparedness efforts. Local administrators are working to ensure that residents are prepared for the season ahead. Island Administrator Preston Cunningham says ensuring shelters are up to standard is a priority.
We ensure that we work with our partners, the Department of Social Services, Environmental Health, Ministry of Public Works, and ensuring that a comprehensive inspection is carried out with respect to all of our hurricane shelters. And I am pleased that for most part these shelters are in good state.
Administrator for East Grand Bahama Harvey Roberts says there are no suitable shelters in East End. However, an emergency plan is in place to assist residents of that district in the event of a hurricane.
We've made a list of all our disabled folks up there so that when we are ready to evacuate, we can get them down here to Freeport as soon as possible. We have transportation in place. As for Seedings Key, we have boats that are ready to bring them over to the mainland and to bus them into Freeport. We are hoping that soon, those we can at the moment, have a shelter built in the east.
The West Grand Bahama District is also in a state of readiness. Administrator Brenda Colebrook.
We are very, very cognizant of the needs that exist within our district. We therefore encourage you to continue to work along with us. That is the Local Disaster Consultative Committee for West Grand Bahama, so that we can ensure that all of the necessary needs are in place, so that should we be faced with another storm, all residents would be prepared and in a position to safely ride out the storm.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, as we are now at the start of the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season, the government is working to bring relief to persons who are adversely impacted by Hurricane Matthew and have yet to receive assistance. Now, over the next 2 days, those persons who are eligible to receive assistance are asked to report to the following locations: in Freeport at Calvary Temple Youth Chapel on Thursday, June 8th, for persons with surnames beginning with the letters A through L; in West Grand Bahama at St. Stephen's Parish Hall; and in East Grand Bahama at the Administrator's Office in High Rock at 10 a.m. On Friday, June 9th, persons with surnames beginning with the letters M through Z at the same locations and time. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.